Hey everyone, welcome to MAT114, College Algebra Prep. My name is Kelly Devney. I'll be your instructor for this class. Most of my students call me Dev or Mrs. Devney. I know that this isn't a traditional course that we're all used to, and just because you can't see me doesn't mean I'm not here. I have tried my best to try to make this as close to possible as what you're used to in class by videotaping our lessons, and so that you can hear my voice and listen to me teach just like if you were in class. You just can't see me. But just because you can't see me doesn't mean I'm not here. So if you need anything, please let me know. The easiest way to get a hold of me is probably through email. So if you have any questions or need to tell me anything, email is probably the easiest way. I can meet you for office hours by appointment. We can use something like Zoom. If you need to ask me questions where you'd like to talk one-on-one or in person virtually, we can do that. But this is getting you ready for college algebra, and so we're going to do lots of different algebraic competencies here. You can kind of read the description of the class and the course competencies if you'd like. Some of them you might have seen before or might make sense to you. Others you might not have seen for a while or might not have seen at all. But we are going to cover all of these in the course of the class. Now this class does cover lots of information. This is almost like two classes in one, and so we'll be doing lots of information in this one class. So it's really important that you find a schedule that works so you can put in the time that you need to make sure that you're successful. The first thing I'd like to talk about on the syllabus here are the materials that you're going to need for the class. And so we are going to be using the software program called Mymathlab. Maybe some of you have used it in the past. This is the online program that we're going to use to complete all the homework, to look at chapter reviews, complete chapter exams, study. There's extra video examples, all that good stuff is in Mymathlab. Now there's an electronic version of the textbook, so you do not need to buy a hard copy of the book, but you will need to purchase the Mymathlab access code. Access for Mymathlab will be purchased directly online through the link that I've posted in Canvas. It'll cost you about $100. And so you have to make sure that you go through Canvas and you use the link that I've posted in Canvas in order to get to Mymathlab, at least for the first time, because we do not have a course ID. I have linked our course in Mymathlab to the course in Canvas, so you have to use Canvas in order to get into Mymathlab. There's more information on how to purchase Mymathlab and how to get into Mymathlab on the Start Here Week 1 module in Canvas, so make sure that you follow the directions in that Start Here module, and it'll help you get registered for Mymathlab. Now, access to Mymathlab and completing all assignments and tests in Mymathlab is mandatory, so you have to purchase the software. Any student without access by the first Friday of class will be withdrawn from the course, so please make sure that you get in, that you get registered for Mymathlab as soon as possible because we have homework right away. Now, there is a free 14-day trial for those of you who can't afford the code right away. But within those 14 days, you must purchase the permanent code or you'll be withdrawn from the course. So please make sure that you make arrangements to get that permanent code as soon as possible. Again, Mymathlab must be accessed through the MyLab and Mastering link in Canvas. Please do not try to go to mymathlab.com. It'll ask you for a course ID, and we don't have one. So if you email me asking me for a course ID, that means you didn't follow directions. Please make sure that you access Mymathlab through Canvas, okay? We'll be using a elementary and intermediate algebra book by Bittinger. So that's the book you can use if you'd like to get a hard copy, but you don't necessarily need to. There's an extra fee if you do, but you don't need one because remember there's one in Mymathlab. Now, because this is an online class, it is really important that you have the technology and reliable internet access. You will need to make sure that you have a reliable computer and reliable internet to be able to access Canvas and Mymathlab. Students may also need a printer. You are expected to print out the notes packet that I provided for you in Canvas and take notes on that packet, not on a separate sheet of paper. Some of you may have iPads or tablets that you can upload the notes on. That would be okay too, if you wanted to upload the notes and take the notes that way, and then you can send them into Canvas from that tablet. You need to make sure that you have some sort of technology to be able to scan or take pictures of your completed notes and work, whether that's a cell phone and you have some sort of a scanning app, or you know how to take pictures and put them all into one document, something that you can scan all of your completed notes into one document and send it to me in Canvas. So please make sure that you have all of those things to be successful in the class. Let's see, it says here, internet outage and technology issues do not constitute a valid excuse for being late on assignments, quizzes, tests, anything. So because this is an online course, you're expected to have all the technology and the internet that you need in order to be successful. Please do not email me at the last minute and say that your internet went down. Make sure that you plan, make sure that you don't procrastinate, and make sure that you have all the technology that you need, please. Okay. For this class, you will need a scientific or a graphing calculator. Scientific calculators will go around, I don't know, $8, $10 or something. You can also buy or purchase a graphing calculator. Those get a little more expensive, probably around $85. You don't necessarily need a graphing one right now. You might later on in the next class, but for this class, you just need at least a scientific calculator. You'll be able to use that calculator on all of your exams, so make sure that you get one of those ASAP. I don't have any that you can borrow, and you are not allowed to use your cell phone or any sort of tablet during the proctored exams, the midterm and final. So just make sure that you get a calculator right away. You use it from the beginning so that you're comfortable with using it during those proctored exams. All right, the big picture of this class, you are required that you are self-motivated and self-directed. And so because we're not going to class every day at a certain time, you need to make sure that you set out time in your schedule, whether that's a little bit every day or a big chunks a couple times a week, to make sure that you focus on this class. If this were an in-person class, I'd probably see you Monday through Thursday for an hour each day. That's 4 hours a week almost. I would be giving you direction for probably that whole hour, and then you would be sent home with probably at least an hour of homework each day. So there's a decent amount of time that you need to make sure that you commit to in order to be successful in this class. So like I said, if that's a little bit every single day, then make sure that you set aside time every single day. If that's a couple hours, a couple times each week, then make sure that you do that. But it is not a great idea for you to wait until Sunday night at 10 o'clock to try to shove and learn everything all before midnight. So please make sure that right now you set aside time in your schedule and don't change it. Make sure that you stick to that so that you can do all the things you need to do. All right, so each week you're expected to watch the video lessons that I've created for you. They go along with the notes packet, and so as you're watching those lessons, you should be taking notes on the blank note packet that I provide you in Canvas, and I'll show you that in one of the introduction videos in a little bit. You may need to pause or replay the video in order to practice and understand each concept. I even say specifically in some of them, pause your video, try this one, and then come back and see if we have the same answer. I really, really, really want you to try some of these on your own, not just follow me along. It's a lot easier when I do it for you, but it's only going to make sense if you do it by yourself. So please make sure that you take advantage of these videos. You pause them, you replay them. I know sometimes I even start to talk fast and I don't realize it, so you might need to pause and replay some of the videos or concepts that you need more explanation on. That's one nice thing about these online classes and the videos I've made is you can kind of go at your own pace. Okay. At the end of the chapter, after you've taken all of your notes, you are required to submit a picture of your completed notes in Canvas, and you are getting points for that. Now, you have a pre-test. I'm using the first attempt as your chapter test as kind of a pre-test to assess what you already know. So what that means is you're not able to get into any homework until you take that pre-test for the first time. Because what happens is questions and learning objectives that you answer correctly on that pre-test are taken off of your homework so you can focus on the concepts that you still need to master. What that means is the better you do on your pre-test, the less homework you have to do. So if you watch all the videos first and then you go and take your pre-test and you score 90%, then you're done. You don't have to do any homework for that chapter. Unless you would like the extra practice and you want to retake those tests. Okay? If you score really low on your pretest to 20%, well, then that means you just have to do more and more and more homework until you have a chance to retake those tests. Okay, so the better you do on the pretest, the less work you have to do. So keep that in mind. Now, the chapter pretest is due by Monday at midnight each week, or you'll receive a 0 for your pretest. There's no extensions, there's no late submissions allowed on pretest. If you do not have your pretest done by Monday at midnight, it is a 0. That means you start from the very beginning and you have to do all the homework in order to be able to get to that retake. Now, if you score below an 80% on your pretest, you must complete the homework for each section in that chapter with at least 80% accuracy. Once you've completed the homework for this chapter with at least 80% for each section, then 2 more attempts at the test will be available to you. So you can watch all the videos, take all your notes, take your pretest. If you do not earn an 80% on your pretest, you'll have to go back to each homework assignment and do that homework assignment with at least 80%. Once you do that, 2 more retakes will be available on that test. Okay? Make sure that you practice by doing that homework. If you need more practice, if the homework that I've assigned to you isn't enough, then you're welcome to do more homework problems or even similar problems of the homework problems I've given you. Mymathlab provides you with immediate feedback on the topics that we're discussing. It also gives you question help options on each question to view examples or practice similar problems, stuff like that. Okay? Remember those retakes. Once you've done the homework with at least an 80% for each section, 2 more retakes will become available to you to improve your score. Now, the best score out of the 3 tests will be recorded. So whatever test you score the best on will be the test that I take as your test score. Now, test retakes are due by midnight on Sunday each week. So you're going to pre-test by Monday at midnight. You're going to work on your homework throughout the week, and your retakes are due by Sunday at midnight. Okay? Make sure that you ask if you have any questions. We're in this together, so if there's anything that you're struggling with, please make sure that you ask me as soon as possible so I can help you. Okay? All right, there's a couple of course requirements at the very beginning. I call them the week 1 required assignments. There's 4 of them. The first thing I need you to do by Friday, the first Friday of the semester, that's August 28th at midnight, is a syllabus quiz. After you've gone through this video, you've read the syllabus, I need you to take the syllabus quiz that's in Canvas. I need you to make sure that you do that syllabus quiz until you get 100%. Okay? You have unlimited attempts at the quiz, and the information can be found in the syllabus. It just covers important information that I need to make sure that you're aware of in the syllabus. So make sure you take that syllabus quiz until you get 100% by Friday. Number 2, you must register for Mymathlab. Remember, you have to do all of your homework and your tests on Mymathlab, so it's important that you get in there, you get comfortable, you get registered, you figure out where everything's at. Make sure that you get registered for Mymathlab by Friday at midnight. Remember, you can purchase that temporary code for 14 days if you need to, but you can purchase the code directly through Pearson by going through the My Lab and Mastering link in Canvas. Again, make sure you follow the directions in that week 1 module. It'll help you get everything set up. The third thing that I need you to do is sign up for remind messages. I know some of you don't often check your Canvas or your school email, but I know you all have your phones next to you 24/7, right? And so I like to use the Remind app to send out quick text messages for reminders, things maybe I forgot to tell you in one of the lessons or the video, just any sort of kind of quick announcements. I'll send that through the text remind system. I need you to make sure that you sign up for that by Friday as well so that you don't miss any important announcements or reminders. The last one, I need you to make sure that we practice submitting a document correctly. It was such a pain during my summer classes that students were sending their documents in separate pieces. They were sending the pages out of order. They were upside down and blurry. And so the 4th thing that I need you to make sure you do before Friday of week 1 is submitting a multi-page document in one file. So you need to take a picture of a couple different pages. You need to take it and put it into one file. It needs to be clear. It needs to be in order, and it needs to be facing vertically like you would normally look at a page. Assignment is to ensure that you receive full credit when submitting your chapter notes and so on. Okay, so I know it seems kind of silly, but it's really important that you submit it correctly so I can easily follow along with what you do. And so this is a required assignment that needs to be done on week 1, so I know you know how to do it for the rest of the semester. Okay? All right, make sure that you get those 4 week 1 assignments done by Friday so that you're not withdrawn from the course. All right, the next thing, attendance. Because I can't take attendance and see you every single day, attendance in an online class is taken by monitoring your online progress. Every week, you should be making progress in the course. You should be taking that pre-test. You should be completing the chapter homework. You should be completing the chapter retakes. I should be able to see all of your progress in Mymathlab and or Canvas so I know that you're actively participating. More than 1 week of inactivity in the course will result in you being withdrawn with a failing grade from the class. So please make sure that you're consistently making progress in the course so I don't drop you for not making progress. Okay? All right, notes. You will have notes in the class. Remember that you are required to print or download the blank chapter notes packet provided in Canvas, that you must use those to take notes. You should be filling out everything I fill out on the video, filling in the blanks, doing the examples with us, just like I do in the video. Once you've finished the chapter, you must submit a copy of your completed notes in Canvas. Make sure that you follow those requirements in Canvas for submitting that document or you'll receive no credit for your notes. So please make sure that you follow the rules of submitting that one document with all of the pages in it, clear, vertical, all those good things. Okay? All right, chapter test. You must complete all chapter tests in the course in order to be eligible for a passing grade. Remember, your chapter pre-test is due by Monday each week, or you'll receive a 0 for that pre-test score. Again, there's no extensions, no late submissions on your pretest. If it's not in by Monday night, it's a 0. If you score below that 80% on your pretest, you must complete the homework for each section in that chapter with at least an 80%. Once you've completed that homework, you have 2 more attempts at the chapter test in order to get the best score possible. The best score out of the 3 is the one that I'll take. Once you've mastered the chapter content by completing the homework, you can retake the test 2 more times. I've already said that. Remember, your chapter retakes are due by Sunday at midnight each week. Okay? Now, there is a time limit that I've set for each chapter test. It'll show you as you're working on the test what the time limit is. It'll kind of count down. That's just to make sure that you're prepared going into the exam, that you've done your work before that by watching the videos, doing the homework before you take those retakes and so on. So please make sure that you're aware of that time limit and you submit all of your questions in your test before that time limit is over. Okay? Late penalties are only on chapter retakes. Remember, on your pretest, if you don't do it by Monday, it's just a 0 straight up. Now, if for some reason you're working on your homework and you aren't able to take your 2 retakes by Sunday, what I will do is I will let you retake up to a week late. However, there is a 10% deduction on your final score. So for example, if the Chapter 5 retake is due on Sunday at midnight, but you don't submit them in time, you have until the following Sunday by midnight to complete it, but your final score will be reduced by 10%. So let's say you get a 95% on your retake, you really only get the 85% score, okay, if it's late. But 85 is better than nothing. So if you are late on the retakes, you get an extra week, but there is a 10% penalty. Try to get them in on the due date, but that is an option if you need it, if you run into an emergency. Okay. Now, it is your responsibility to know the dates for the proctored exams as well as the due dates for the homeworks and the chapter tests and all of that stuff. So please make sure that you're following along with the calendar that I've posted in Canvas. Again, internet outage and computer issues do not constitute a valid excuse for any late assignments. Okay. All right, besides the chapter test, we will have a midterm and a final exam. The midterm will cover the first half of the class. The final exam will cover the second half of the class. The midterm and final exam are still in Mymathlab. However, they are going to be proctored. We are trying to get ProctorU set up for everybody free of charge. And so it's a proctoring service where you will have to make an appointment for a proctor to proctor your exam while you're sitting at home. They will watch you through your webcam or whatever it might be. You have to make sure that you have all of the different pieces of technology to do that. So microphone, video camera, all of those things to make sure that they can watch you as you're taking your exam. Okay? If students cannot meet these requirements for the technology needed, you'll receive a 0 for your midterm and or your final exam, which means you're not going to pass the class. So if you do not have the technology needed to do proctored exams at your home, then you need to make sure that you sign up for a different course. Okay? But in this class, you will have a midterm and a final exam that is proctored. I'll get you more information on specifics on how to sign up for the ProctorU, but you do need to make sure that you have all the technology. Okay? All right, you must complete the midterm and final exam by their due date, so make sure that you check the calendar for that. There are no late exams or extensions allowed for any reason. So the midterm is due by a certain date. I'll give you a testing window where you must complete it by. If you don't complete it by that due date, you get a 0. Okay? You can use a calculator on each of the exams, but you'll not be allowed to use any notes or book or formula sheet, anything like that. So please make sure that you prepare beforehand so that you're ready to go. You'll be given 2.5 hours to complete each exam. It is timed, so please make sure that you're ready to go with all of the information that you need, your calculator, pencil, scratch paper, whatever you need. Make sure that you can use that full 2.5 hours. I will post a practice exam on Mymathlab that is very similar to the actual exam to help you prepare. Please do this practice test, the midterm practice and the final exam practice, as many times as you need to make sure that you're comfortable. It looks very, 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 very similar. Chances are the better you do on the practice test, the better you're going to do on the actual exam. Okay? Now, because your midterm and final exam are the only 2 tests that are being proctored, they're worth a lot of your grade. They are, between the 2 of them, 70% of your grade. The midterm is 35% and the final exam is 35% of your grade. They make up 70% of your course grade. So it's really, really, really important that you do well on these exams. But that means making sure that you're understanding all of the chapters before then to make sure that you're ready. Okay, now you must earn a combined average of at least a 60% on the midterm and final exam together in order to pass the class. So make sure that you are practicing and prepared for those. Now you do have homework to reinforce the concepts that we are learning. Remember, after you complete the pretest, you have to do the homework with at least an 80% before you're able to take those retakes. Homework is due by Friday each week, so you should be pre-testing on Monday. You should be working on homework throughout the week until Friday, and then you should be taking advantage of the retakes, remember, by Sunday night. Okay? It is tempting to be casual when you're working on the computer, but being organized is really going to pay off in the long run. So as you're doing your homework, make sure that you try to show work on a separate sheet of paper so that you can see what you're doing, you can see your steps, you can stay organized throughout the problem so you don't make mistakes. Okay? Time requirement. Like I said, please make sure that you set up time now in your schedule for this class, a little bit every day or a couple hours, a couple days a week, but you are going to definitely have to spend a lot of time doing this class. I would say at least 8 to 10 hours a week. Just like if you were going to class 4 hours a week plus homework time, that's what you should be doing. You need to spend time watching the videos, taking the notes, doing the homework, reviewing, practicing, asking questions, all of that stuff. So please make sure that you set up time in your schedule. Now we have a couple of different grading categories. We have those chapter tests that are 20% of your grade. Every single week you'll have a chapter or test. You have the completed notes that you'll have to submit when you're done with each chapter. That's 10% of your grade. We have the midterm, that's 35%, and the final exam, that's 35% of your grade. Okay? I do not have extra credit, so please do not email me at the end of the chapter or the end of the course and beg me for extra credit. You know what you have to do in order to be successful. I don't have extra credit at the end to try to give you extra points. There is no extra credit in the class, so just make sure that you're doing the best that you can on the information right away. Different letter grades for the class as usual, A, B, C, D, F. If you choose to withdraw from the class for whatever reason, please, please, please let me know so that we can make arrangements to do that, whether that's a W, or if you need the letter grade, if you just want to withdraw with a failing grade or an F, whatever that might be for financial aid reasons, whatever it might be. But please let me know if you cannot participate in the class any longer so I know which grade you'd prefer. If you simply disappear from class for more than a week, I will withdraw you from the class with a Y. That means you get a failing grade. It's kind of considered an F on your transcript, okay? So please make sure that you're in communication with me if things are not going well, and then we can figure out what to do from there. Like I said, just because you can't see me doesn't mean that I'm not here. So if you're ever struggling, please let me know, and I'd be happy to help you. There's lots of different resources that'll help you throughout the class. You can always contact me and we can meet together. There's Math Solutions. Even though the Math Solutions building isn't necessarily open, we do have free tutoring online that they'll be able to meet with you and explain problems virtually. So Math Solutions is still a great free tutoring option for you. Also, Mymathlab. Mymathlab has lots of different built-in resources that might help you, extra videos, that electronic version of the text. There's step-by-step examples, lots of things in Mymathlab that'll also help you. Okay? All right, just like in class, I'm expecting you to be honest and abide by the academic rules here. So cheating, plagiarism, excessive absences, any sort of abuse or profane language, disruption, threatening behavior, anything like that will be reported to the dean, the math department chair, and anybody that needs to in order to make sure that that stops. So hopefully we don't have to deal with that. I'm assuming you guys are all going to be respectful and we're going to have a great semester, right? One other thing, because this is an online class, we like to talk about Netiquette. Netiquette is the correct and acceptable way of communicating online. So online classes require a lot of written communication, both to me and other classmates possibly. So it's important that you communicate clearly and professionally. Pretty much the golden rule of Netiquette in an online class or environment is don't do or say anything online that you wouldn't do or say in person. So just make sure that you're kind and respectful. Okay? Make sure that you know your student rights and responsibilities that are posted in the student conduct code and the student handbook. Remember that you're responsible for understanding the policies listed in the syllabus for grading, attendance, stuff like that. There is a sexual harassment blurb. I'd like you to read that, please, and a disability statement that you are required to read and be aware of. So please make sure that you read through those. I'm not going to read that to you, but if you need anything, please let me know. If you are registered with DRS, please let me know about that as soon as possible so that we can figure out any accommodations that you may need. Okay? All right, I know that was a lot of information, but please make sure that you read through that syllabus. You are responsible for the information in it. Remember that there are 4 week 1 required assignments that you must do by Friday in order to stay in the course. That's the syllabus quiz with 100%. That's registering for Mymathlab. That's signing up for the remind messages, and that's submitting that multi-page document in that one file. There's directions in that assignment when you're ready to do that. Make sure you have all 4 of those done by Friday. Let me know if you need anything. I look forward to a great semester with you.